Oh, my husband, he's laser focused on finding his partner, Captain America, Chris Evans.
He's not partnered?
No.
Wow.
It's me, Chris. I would love to end up with a white man like Chris Evans.
I love to hear you say that.
I know you do. Whoa, sinkhole opens up in New York City, swallowing a van. It's the end of days. Let me send this shit to you. This is terrifying. All right, ready, Sheila?
Mm-hmm.
1, 2, 3, press. 1,
2,
3,
4,
5,
6,
7,
8,
9,
10.
Yes, I was not expecting that.
My voice deep as shit. Like, I got rain.
I just wasn't okay. Hi. How are you?
I'm all right. How are you?
Good.
You've been working, girl. Got me working day, night.
I'm tired. You want me to go first?
Go ahead.
This is my third podcast of the day. I don't have nothing else to say to you people. I've never not wanted to talk more in my life, but I'm going to do it. Big shout out to the homies at See the Thing Is Pod. I will be on both of their episodes this week. Tomorrow, when will this come out? So this comes out Thursday, so you could definitely check out Monday's episode where we cover all things current events. Tristan Thompson, Sesame Place. What else did we talk about? Oh, definitely. What is that man's name? That rapper? Child. See?
Kevin Gates.
Kevin Gates. And of course, I was talking about this today because I thought, wow, I need to vary. Like, I need to not be saying the same thing on every podcast. But every podcast is so different because the makeup is so different and the people are so different. So,
but everybody's talking about the same things, basically.
Not everybody's talking about the same things at all. But just the approach. Like, my worry was like, oh, am I going to be saying the same things? But check that out. And then make sure you check out tomorrow. I, along with Mandy, interviewed the artist and writer Neo.
Girl, you are on your way. E.T. Entertainment Tonight? They go, what?
Shut up.
Bitch, who?
So, yes. And it was a very interesting interview. Neo is actually getting in trouble right now for some shit that he said, I think on the Breakfast Club, or I don't know where he said it, but about R. Kelly and how he's still going to listen to R. Kelly's music. He said something very interesting about Tory Lanez on our episode as well. So make sure you check that out and make sure you check me out trying to reel it in because he is so media trained, but he just was not giving up on this.
He said what he said.
Yeah, he said it with his chest. So it's a great interview. It's a great episode. He is a lovely human who works very hard to make people in the room feel comfortable, and he is not pretentious at all. So it was very, very, it was very refreshing. And then after I recorded with them today, I was a guest co-host with Jade of all Jades on the Getting Grown pod. With the incredible Jessamine. If you don't know who that is, Jessamine is in the yoga space. She's in the queer space. She's in the polyamorous space. She, was gifted a Beyonce box. Or a Beyonce thing. That's how you know that she's fabulous. She's also currently in a Gatorade commercial. She self-identifies as a fat, black, queer poly woman who was just brilliant and really thoughtful about everything, it seems, and very honest and down to earth. And it was really refreshing to know that she knew of us. She follows Around the Way Curl. She follows Getting Grown. She follows me. She was like super aware and just telling me about myself. I'm like, what? Girl, how do you know who I am? So super cool conversation, and big shout out to Jade because that's, one of my best friends, and she's doing her thing. And prayers up to Kia, who recently, this is not a secret, she recently lost her grandmother.
Yeah, I saw that.
So we want to send light and love to Kia, and I think it's good that she takes some time. So yeah, that was today. And now It is 9:46 p.m. and I'm with my main bitch. Ciao, and we're going to get into all things that, we get into on Around the Way Curls. Updates for me. I got hit by a car
Girl.
It wasn't a big hit. I didn't
Wait a minute.
Mustafa held me down, baby.
No. You have not shared your bike's name.
I
did not share the origin or the godparents of said bike's name.
Oh my God.
And I think that it's very important that everybody knows
wow.
this new nigga you mountain.
Yo, ego death, Shanti. So I got a new bike. It's giving big masculine energy. I mount him at least 3 to 4 times a week and ride him until the sun sets, till the motherfucking wheels fall off. His name is Mustafa Raheem Jenkins. Mustafa Raheem Jenkins. Mustafa, I wanted a strong name, and it actually was Shanti and her artsy bull were here visiting Brooklyn, and they were nice enough to come visit me, picking up the cat. And I just kept saying, I don't know what to name him because it's giving masculine energy. I've never had a boy bike.
It is a thick, black, strong,
king,
sturdy, stylish. Like, that's a real nigga bike.
Yeah, it's very dope. So I was going back and forth between Mustafa and Muhammad, and I landed on Mustafa. Mustafa means chosen, selected, appointed, and preferred. So I say, yes, Kang, in Arabic. And then, of course, Shanti and her artsy bull. Am I allowed to say his name? You say his name, right?
We say
Rashid. He was very helpful with Raheem. I think he came with Jenkins.
I named Raheem. Rashid gave the name Mustafa.
Yes, Rashid offered Mustafa. I was on Muhammad, and he was like, it's giving Mustafa, and I was like, whoa. And then I came up with Jenkins. You're right. And so here we are. The godparents are Shanti and Rashid. Ridiculous.
That tickles me.
We're so stupid. The fact that you keep bringing this up about you're the godparent of my bike, I don't know if
say that about people's kids.
I know. I don't know if it's funny or if it's like deeply sad and says something about me, but here we are. But I hope that Mustafa has helped me down, and Mustafa helped me down yesterday when a car, these motherfucking, I'm going to stop cursing as much right here because I hear myself and I cringe, but these cars are double parked. And so it's in the bike lane, parked in the bike lane, and it's a larger vehicle. It's like some sort of SUV that's huge. So I, of course, go around that car, and right in front of that car, so the car is double parked. A parked car that's off to the side of it is pulling out. So I go around the double parked car to go back into the bike lane, and there's a car pulling out of the parking spot into the bike lane, and boom, collision.
Did you fall off your bike?
I did not. Mustafa had held me down. He didn't hit me very hard, and the car that was double parked was like beep, 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 like trying to get the other car's attention, and they were kind of looking around trying to figure out what's going on. But this is something that happens in New York, and I forget, what is it, Riders?
God.
I had one job. Riders something. Street Riders NYC. They do a lot of advocacy for bicyclists in New York because a lot of bicyclists are dying here. And you go all around the city.
I said ride or die, and I'm sorry that I said that.
Oh, I didn't even hear you.
That was insensitive.
Terrible.
Out of context. I apologize.
But they have these white bicycles all over the city to commemorate and honor the folks that passed away. So it's tricky. And y'all think I'm playing. I try to make light of it when I say that every time I ride my bike, I almost check out.
Do you have your headphones in?
I do not. I would never ride my bike with headphones in, ever. I have a speaker though that hangs from my handlebar, or now I got it mounted. But yeah, I don't ride with. I'm very alert when I'm on my bike, and I respect bike lanes. I stop at red lights and shit like that. Like, I'm that bike rider that's annoying to other bike riders. And I didn't have my helmet on, which is stupid. I didn't have my helmet on because it was in my car, and I didn't feel like going all the way to my car. So I just rode, and I wasn't doing like a active bike ride. I was actually just riding my bike to the bike shop to get some new trimmings and things. But that's a note to self for me as well. So be careful. Also, while riding my bike, I cut through the park and I stopped through the Prospect Park, and I stopped for a second to drink some water. And I don't know what they were, in all honesty, because they were very androgynous, but they looked feminine in the face. But they came up to me, and in an attempt to encourage me, they offended the shit out of me. And it's something that I need to think about, of why I get so offended when people say this. But they said, they expressed how happy they were to see me riding and to see another fat black girl riding. And I just thought to myself, that's something that, like,
another fat black girl?
That's what they said to me. It's so good to see another fat black girl riding. And I was just like, I should punch you square in your fucking mouth. But I see how people are using that word and self-identifying as fat and things like that. This is for anybody that sees me in the street. I do not self-identify as that. And don't fucking call me that. But also I had to like deal with that and talk myself off the ledge a little bit. Like, you know, my own hang-ups around that word, and then also trying to understand why I feel that way and why is it so bad. It's similar to what we were discussing before, like, are you really X, Y, and Z, or are you just living up to white standards of beauty? So things I'm still unpacking, but while I unpack them, watch your mouth.
First things first, please watch what you say at your mouth.
I can't even hear you. What are you whispering?
First things first, please watch what you say out your mouth.
Yeah, definitely.
Open on the phone, the hustlers.
Yeah, I get that a lot of people are comfortable in that way, but...
Did you discuss that? Is that something that's discussed with Jessamine?
No, we didn't get to that. We did get on body positivity and how she
I'm excited to
got to be so grounded in herself. We did touch on that. Of course, I brought that up because that's something that, and I had like a whole thing. I was very vulnerable. We cried a little bit. I had a whole thing this morning while I was picking out my outfit for See the Thing Is at 7:30, and like just, you know, doing what I do at times. But then I am realizing that I've been really actively and intentionally trying to do things that are going to make me better, that are going to help me level up, riding my bike for health purposes, not as a punishment or like to try to lose weight but to really be like, you need to get out, you need to be healthy, you need to this. I have also been really mindful about how I'm spending my money. So I've been saying no to a lot of people. I've met up with friends and had like one drink and not even drank it. Because I am being mindful about what I put in my body. I don't want to drink those calories.
I see.
I don't want to spend $20 on something that I know is not necessarily great for me. I can share your company without that. And some people are cool with it and some people are a little bit annoyed. But I'm definitely recognizing that I have not, in some cases, I have not been showing up for my friends as much as I normally do. Like if my friends are going through something and I'm in the middle of a bike ride, I'm not going to stop and answer that call, which old me would have done. Or if I'm reading or if I'm needing to clean my home and I just need to be or something, I'm not doing it. And so people are feeling that shift. I don't know how comfortable I am with it yet. I can't say it makes me feel good. In their own passive aggressive ways, right?
Oh, this is a good conversation.
I mean, truly, like they make little statements of like, oh, when you used to hang out with me, or oh, you don't
Uh-huh.
have time for us anymore. Like those little things that you
Mm-hmm.
pick up on. Um, and it's not that they don't mean well, they just miss you, or, they just miss
Mm-hmm.
what was.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah, I can't say I'm comfortable just yet doing what is, I guess, best for me, but it's definitely a shift. And I do feel bad about um, not showing up, especially for people. I have a girlfriend who's pregnant, and I have not seen her, and she doesn't live very far away. So, um, and I haven't seen the days that we're able to get up is like days I need to ride my bike, and I'm not changing that plan or,
Mm-hmm.
so I'm figuring that out. And I do feel bad about that, about her specifically, because she's not passive aggressive. She's just like one of my best friends. So I need to be there for her. And I know how lonely pregnancy can be because so much is changing. So I need to work that out. That's really the person that I'm more so worried about. And I'm taking an inventory on how I spend my time.
What does that? Oh, in terms of like making sure that if you're doing something, it's, for your
Well, really right now,
prioritizing.
I'm not making sure of anything. I'm just observing and
Mm.
taking note of
Mm.
like, oh, most times when you sit down and you have idle anything, or if you complete something at work, you go right to your phone and start scrolling.
Mm-hmm.
Taking note
It
of
is
that.
so bad.
It's really bad at this point. And part of my issue is that I have all of this two-factor, um, what is it?
Authenticity. Yeah.
Authentication. And so it requires me to constantly pick my phone up for work and type in whatever code I need to type in and this and
Mm-hmm.
that. And then I'm also multitasking with Teams because I'll see the messages and I can be working in something else while writing back. It's just a whole thing. And then I immediately go to some sort of social media, and that has to stop. And I'm so tempted to delete it, but then I need to promote episodes and things like that. So it just gets to be difficult, and it is
You,
addicting. And I am thinking that at this point, I'm a little addicted.
oh girl, not a little addicted.
Yeah.
You are addicted, and we all
Yeah.
are. This has been years of forming this habit. I'm going to send you this podcast about it, how it is eroding our ability to focus, and that people cannot focus for more than 60
Like 3
seconds.
minutes. Yeah.
60 seconds. You think it's 3 minutes, but it's 60 seconds, and it is affecting your ability to concentrate on things. You can't actually concentrate when we do the multitasking. That is the worst. They did
Yeah.
a survey. I'm not going to talk about this much longer, but there was a test in which they gave students a phone while they took a test, and students that didn't have a phone, and students that had the phone and could like look stuff up to pass the test actually scored worse than the students that had no phone whatsoever or any kind of like technical resource, because it takes your brain, when you lose focus and then you go back to what you're doing, it takes your brain like
Time
it takes
to
a minute to
adjust.
refocus, and you lose. It's eroding us. It's such a problem. I feel the same way. I think you should do planally. I think you should figure out how to, you have all your assets or whatever, and like the day before you have everything, and then you can plan it and it posts for you. So you don't have to have
Well,
your
shit,
phone
it's
on
for
you.
Roundaway Girls. Why are we not doing it?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, you posted a lot of things. Like, you got a lot of shit that you post for us. It can't just be Runaway Girls.
Yeah.
But
Figuring it out. Ciao.
figured it out. I had a weekend this weekend. I invited you. Well, the plan was for you to come down, and we were gonna like do the Black Summer Soul event. I instead had some complications that did not work out. Ended up working the event. And I'm an old woman. Again, the Black Summer Soul brings out lots of young, vibrant, hot to trot, the sexual tension. You could cut it with a knife. It's thick. The daddies are out. The girls got the
Ooh.
yams and jewelry, they're accessorized, and I felt so disconnected and I was like, can they feel like can they feel that I just am not engaged in this at all? I felt like a fish out of water. Maybe it was the DJ. I'm actually blaming it on the DJ. The DJ sets the tone. Shout out to the people that run this event. I mean, apparently the crowd was more engaged and like involved and giving off, were more generous with their energy at this event than the other one. But they were making that, they're playing that back to the dance, for like, I guess, listen, shorty, you bad. Like that, so you have a set of that and it works. And you do it for like a half an hour, then you intro into your reggae or do something. But over 30 minutes of that is violence to me. It's actual, it's discombobulating. Like it gnaws at my nervous system. And I was like, I'm an old woman. I don't belong here. How are you going to dance to that? How are you going to,
you can't.
how you going to grind up? How you going to fall in love in the club to that?
And the problem is that they're all coming out to find a partner, but it's just like this savage.
It wasn't even that, Antoinette. It was straight
really that
Baltimore go-go, like black.
Well, I like go-go, but not for
not for an hour.
Not for 4 hours.
No, you have your set. You got your set. Anything. I was just, and Philly apparently is really like the younger crowd in Philly apparently is super influential with this new sound. Like, of course, it came from Baltimore, but now Philly has a whole line of new producers that are creating this sound, like mixing in house with it. So
we just old. Because when we came over, when we were young, we were with all of the shits. We were giving Wallies away at once.
I said, "Where's DMX? How you gonna fall in love?
You can't fall in love. Where the fuck?
It's the next Lil Kim. Where the Rough Riders at? How you gonna have sexual chemistry without fucking Rough Riders and shit? Like
old and washed. Our parents said the same thing though. They were like, "Okay, what is this music?" But we're at that
understand
place.
It now. I really feel it. I was like, "This is blasphemy."
Every time Bridget and Mandy start playing their like freshly squeezed segment where they talk about new music, the way I go mute for the most part, I be like, I'm not listening to anything new. I'm really not. Not for the most part. Burna Boy. That's it.
Apparently we are old. Actually, we are old, and that's annoying to the older listeners that listen to the podcast because they think that our gripes and our worries are complete nonsense. And
what?
We apparently need to have an older woman on the show to like give us some relativity because...
Who said that?
A listener, a friend of mine who listens. I won't say her name because I don't know if she wants to be out.
Do I know her?
I don't think so. I don't know. But she was like, y'all need some older girl women to come on. Because the thing y'all be hemming and hawing about is just, I just have to suck my teeth and roll my eyes because y'all need some relativity. And I was like, is everything's okay then? This is not, we're going to be okay? She was like, yes, girl, your 30s are trash, but it gets better. And you need somebody on here to tell you that it gets better. And I was
tell her to come on.
I will, but I
help us.
I'm like, girl, that's all I'm gonna say. Help me. What? How do I get
you
out
think
of
I'm
this?
playing?
Who
You need to get Katia on here.
That's what she said. Well,
why aren't you listening? Listen to your elders.
Because Katia's gonna come in here and start saying Beyonce and saying shit we don't want to hear.
It'll be fine. We need to hear it.
Be happy by yourself. You're gonna have to figure your shit out.
I'm like, boo. Internet went out quick. No episode this week, ladies and gentlemen.
She gonna say this shit we don't want to hear, but
like self-love, girl. Sounds like mahogany art. New mahogany art.
I've also just been, I've been doing inventory as well. Not so much of what I'm doing, but yeah, I guess what I'm doing, how I'm feeling about stuff. And I just realized, just like you said before, I have to hype myself up. I have to get excited about the things that I'm doing. I think I confuse, or the artsy ball brought it up, of like, are you anxious about something or are you excited? You know, they just say that anxiety is just excitement, like misplaced excitement about stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But things are happening. Good thing, you know, seeds have been put in the ground. Things are blooming, and I just find myself feeling numb to so much stuff. And I'm like, girl, I'm waiting to feel excited, but I think that there definitely has to be like some inner, there has to be some daily, like, I don't know if it's gratitude word. I don't know if I gotta look in the mirror and do my Issa Rae shit. Like, bitch, you are gonna be okay. This is lit. Nigga, you are gonna do a vending event. You are pot fucking Jessamine, what's her name? Jessamine knows who you are. Like these kind of things. I have to
Do
like
you know
hype.
who she is? But you don't know her name right now.
I think I'm also very old because these Instagram handles.
Tricky.
I
Hard to. And
ignore them.
if they
I
come for me
literally
one more
ignore
time
them.
about saying tricky, like 3 people
I
on
think
Twitter today were like, Antoinette, your favorite word in the world is tricky, and you need
it's
to come up with something else.
no. I
Like,
think it's a
shut up.
wonderful word. I've now been using it as
Summarizes
well.
everything
I think
beautifully.
it really
Anyway,
describes
I
the
derailed you.
situation.
Go ahead.
But yeah, just trying to feel more excitement. Just trying to feel. I don't know if it's gratitude, but hyping myself up about things that are here, things that have been done, things that are coming. And stop being so numb. Stop being a shell of a person.
What do you think that's based in? I feel like that's rooted in.
Well,
I'm not gonna say. I want you to unpack
well,
that.
I don't know.
Okay.
Well, that I
Do you
think you
feel like
should.
sometimes when people don't get excited about things or don't allow themselves to get excited about things, it's because they, if they get excited, then they could possibly be disappointed or let down.
But you know, like I don't like want anything either. So I don't. I'm
I
not
don't even
scared
think
of
that's
the
real. Every time you
letdown.
say that, that's not real. I'm not going through this with you.
I
I
don't.
don't want anything.
I don't
Okay.
have this thing of like, I don't know, but I think it's connected to excitement though. I think it is connected to excitement of not having this like these goals or orient myself to like do this thing or be this thing. I think it is deeply connected to excitement. I don't know if disappointment is what I'm fearful of. There's definitely fear there, but I don't know if disappointment is the thing. But that's what I've just been like sitting with and trying to dig into because it's getting old. I will say that. But I think excitement and the creativity that we've been talking about are deeply connected. So this weekend I had some time to myself. The Artist Way also mentions, you know, you do your morning pages and then every week you go on an art date. So you take yourself out to do something. And I'm working on it. I haven't made a plan yet of exactly what I want to do. Like I got my nails done and I meandered a little bit and I just like walked around. And that felt like a start, but I have to like intentionally, I'm going to try to do that this week, intentionally like sit down and map out or just write down some places that would be exciting to go. That would be like, oh, this is going to be good. Something that I could just do by myself and for myself. That's not like going out to eat or, you know, like whatever the traditional like date is. Like it would be nice to go out to eat, but yeah, I'm just trying to figure out something else to tap into for myself, child. And your cat. I'm in, oh, there she is. Blue.
I want her back.
Blue has been here for how long? 2 weeks?
2 weeks.
Blue is here, and I am enjoying her. Her very listen, your cat did wake me up at 4:45. It was because that thing was disconnected. It wasn't entirely her fault, but you have a self-timed feeder on her, which helps because she could be very aggravating and bossy if she doesn't have her food. But
she knocked it out the wall?
I don't know what happened, but I was like, what the fuck? Are you waking me up? And it was 4:45. It wasn't even time for her to eat. She eats at 6. So I don't know what. Maybe she didn't have her snack.
She probably didn't have the snack in the evening before bed. She was hungry. She got to be held over. Poor thing.
She's doing well though. She does not like JoJo. Blue does not like kids. So
that makes me sad.
But she fucks with me heavy. She's on the bed now. She does the bed thing. So it's nice to have like
she sleeps next to you.
It's nice to have a little being. Like even to come in the house and have like this little being here. It's like, that's not like a kid.
But she is like a kid. So it's like, tricky. Don't do it. Anyway, moving right along because Shanti's a hater. Please, everyone. We are so happy. We see these downloads going up. Please rate, subscribe, share Around the Way Curls. As we always say, when you rate and subscribe, it does nothing but help us with our visibility. So please rate on Apple, rate on Spotify now, which you can, and make sure you subscribe so that you can get these downloads because it seems like we might be changing the schedule and, dropping 2 episodes a week. Moving right along, hot shit. Go ahead, shorty.
The hot shit that came up on my timeline that made me very, very happy was Erykah Badu twerking at Megan Thee Stallion's concert. That just made me
I love Erykah.
I love her so very much. Also, Jennifer Lewis doing a whole high leg split. That's a bad bitch. Mm-hmm. Like she is top tier talent, energy.
Best auntie in the world.
But congrats to her for getting her star on the Walk of Fame. Also just doing this. I mean, I actually don't know how long she's been in the game, but like it feels like this.
No, she's had longevity.
But just the peak. I feel like she's getting the recognition. She's getting the work. She's just being seen in a way that
primetime TV hits different. Yeah. I also think it's corny though that you have to pay for your Hollywood star.
Oh, I did not know that. That is
the same way you have to pay for a Grammy. It's really corny.
You said what?
The same way people have to pay for their Grammys.
To
the actual statue.
To take the actual thing home.
Well, Shanti, they have to create the statue. The statue they give you is just like a prop. It's not
you have to pay for that?
Yeah. Otherwise, you get a certificate. That, according to Bridget Kelly, she was like, no, you got to pay for that. I don't know if the lead artist does, but everybody else involved does. Corny. But I know for a fact that you have to pay for the Hollywood star. So dumb. Isn't that corny? I guess somebody got to pay for it.
I wonder how much it costs. I have to Google that. I'm now really interested in how much it costs.
Also, some other hot shit. We want to shout out Philly native. She used to go by Beats by Ari, but she is Home by Ariel. Areeayl. And she creates whimsical and imaginative wearable art. And she has been featured in Black is King. Chloe Bailey wears her stuff. She's just blowing up, and she has a line coming out at Macy's that drops July 22nd. Again, Black woman from Philly doing her thug thistle. So we definitely want to support her and send her love.
She hits very close to my heart because when I first started doing vending events, she was always down to be a part of the vending events. She has had her stuff at the Sable Collective. She was seen or given a whole bunch of attention when Beyonce did her the the black businesses in 2020 and sold out. And from there has just had an upward trajectory. Tracy Ellis Ross is rocking her shit. Beyonce was rocking her shit. Blue was rocking her shit. Like probably tons of other artists as well that I can't mention, but those heavy hitters, like Beyonce's wearing your shit. If Beyonce and her children are wearing your shit, like girl. And this is just, again, a small business making all of her stuff by hand and has got the attention and now the ability to scale her business to be in Macy's, like to go from 0 to 100. I'm really, really proud of her that business wise and then just creativity wise, because it's hard for jewelry makers to, like, if they're making their own shit, make like 2 to like 500. Like that's wild.
To mass produce. It's pretty
shout out to her.
Shout out to her. Moving right along, something that made me happy in the pop culture hemisphere, and I don't know if anybody else cares, but this news of Jennifer Lopez and Ben Affleck getting married, it really warms my little hopeful romantic heart. It really does. After 20 years, they've reconnected, reconciled, lived lives, had babies, been married before, gotten divorced, and found their way back to one another. And I love it. And I know people are hating, Jennifer, but I love it.
You no hate for them. Why would you hate on that? Who could hate on that?
People are like, yeah, we'll see if that lasts. Blah, blah, blah. I'm like, yo, shut up. Shut up. Let these people live. Like, he was a whole alcoholic, and they stayed in touch, and she helped him through that.
Cheating on his wife with the nanny. Ben
was struggling.
Caused some harm now.
And so has Jennifer. She was breaking all kinds of hearts and shit. Jennifer been running through him like, nope, not you, not you. Tried you on for size, not you. Next. So just, there's hope. I'm not saying that 20 years from now you go back to your raggedy ex, but check them out. See what they do.
Wait, just to go back, it costs $55,000 after selection. You first have to be selected, but then you have to pay $55,000 to have your
I told you.
Star on the Walk installed and then maintained.
Yeah, go to hell. I ain't got it. I'll be like, what? I'm a star in y'all hurts. But also Jay-Z and Kevin Hart. Jay-Z appeared on the Heart to Heart interview on Peacock, which was I watched it. You watched it, right?
Yeah.
What were your thoughts?
I enjoyed it. I mean, you know, the get money banter is like, that was cool, but I really liked when they got more intimate and just talked about their own like emotional evolution and family. And I really appreciated, it feels like Jay-Z's feeling of responsibility that he has now as to like why the whys in his life and the who's in his life. And you know, he just, again, Jay-Z, what's the nigga name, Mike Tyson. Jay-Z is not as flamboyant as Mike Tyson, but I just love to see these men's arcs that they have, you know, the lives that they have led and the wisdom that they hold. And he looks good. He feels good. Kevin Hart,
clairvoyant,
admires him very much. Shout out to Kevin Hart and his Philly vocabulary that we too suffer from.
I heard that. That was so cute with Jay. And I love that he left that in there. His likeliness.
Yes, I do too. I like that they did that.
He was like, tell me. If I'm wrong, tell me. He was like, well, I don't know. You saw Jay was like, well, I don't know how you're going to use it.
What the fuck you trying to say?
No, he was like, I don't know how you're going to use it. And he was like, you know, when somebody, when you align with that brand, he was like, yeah, your likeness, brother. Your likeness, my brother. I said, Hotep Jay. Go ahead, King. Black is king. Jay is king. I really loved the part where he was talking about how you spend your time and how it's the only thing that you control in your life. It's like how you spend your time, because you can be gone within a second. And so that reaffirmed my stance on
Mm-hmm.
taking inventory on
Mm-hmm.
how I'm spending my time. I also really loved when he was talking about knowing what to do and doing the thing.
Mm-hmm.
People, how people think that they're very close in proximity, but they're miles apart.
Yeah.
Of like, you can know what to do for mad long, but the execution
Yeah.
of the thing, so difficult. And that is the work, right? It's the
Yeah.
execution. Like,
And it wasn't about like work, like like
no.
it was more like, what spiritual work that you need to do, the
Mm-hmm.
right thing to do in your life. And then, yeah, the time, the gap between that often we all struggling with. So it was nice. I really also love coming from the service industry. I love to see people geek out about wine and
Oh.
drinks and talk their shit. And I just love to see Black men doing that, and not in service of white people in a way. It's like for their
Mm-hmm.
own pleasure, for their own, luxury in the service industry that is just so highly regarded, to know about the varietals and the elevation and the tasting notes. And I've always just seen white guys, like tatted white guys, geek out, but to see like just a fine ass milk dud coming over
Milk
to your
that came out.
table talking that shit,
What is
I'm
that, a
telling you.
sommelier? Yeah.
I really
He
love
was doing
that.
his thing.
That and coffee, I'm
He was
telling
giving
you.
me Butler vibes a little bit, but I'll shut up.
No,
We're on
I
a
feel like
positive
that's.
note.
I feel like that. No, I feel like he was talking his shit.
He
Like
was, no, he was
he was.
wise,
He
but it
was
was just
talking his
like
shit.
this little servant coming through with the what the hell. But Kevin, you're right. Kevin was it was very clear that he was very excited to have Jay on on that show. I also think um, he dropped some gems around navigating money with family and with friends, and how when you come into money and then all of a sudden, you have people that are like in your life and close to you and try just navigating who to invest in, how to invest in it, and how to create boundaries with your people when you're like, no, that's not how life works. You don't just come up to somebody and they give you money for this ID. Like, that's not it.
Hmm.
Um, so shout out to Jay. He seems so calm and peaceful, and I'm really happy for him. I am.
I am
The
too.
God.
I like
Not to be
that.
confused with Michael Jackson, because I know how
Never.
you do.
Okay. Never. Don't even think about it.
But you heard those credentials at the beginning of the interview, right?
Yeah, but
That
like,
Kevin Hart ran off. That's all I'm
sure,
saying.
sure. Michael
Most
Jackson owns
Grammy
the.
nominated artist.
Girl, he died. He didn't get a chance
That's
to have his
that's all I'm
moment.
saying. That's all I was saying. He doesn't have the same amount. We're
You
not gonna bring
you
this up.
seem to be the one that actually brings it up more. I brought it up
People
once.
bring it up.
You constantly bring this up.
Because
I
I'm
brought
still
it up
not
one
over it. How you
time.
tried to play me. It really
I
made me
brought it up
mad.
one time.
I'm
I
not over it.
apologize. I
Because I'm getting
apologize.
DMs about it. Because people are late listening to these
Yo,
fucking
listen,
episodes. Catch up.
stay off her top,
Okay?
okay?
I'd be like, yo, it's old. You can't come at me for something I said 2 weeks ago.
Exactly. What
That's
is it?
that's old shit.
Statutory limits. What is it? Child.
I don't know, but Jesus. Wendy Williams.
Oh, I have a lot of empathy for Wendy. I don't like what's happening. I don't like the way
Well,
she's
what
being
is happening?
erased.
Tell us.
When apparently Wendy Williams, of course, her show, she had that long absence, this mysterious absence. Nobody knew what was going on with her. There were rumors that there were legal issues with banks and her account and her mental health and her health in general. I don't know, Sherry Shepherd. I made that name up. Is that her name? If I did it, by God,
That's Sherry
it's on my
Shepherd.
side.
That's Sherry Shepherd. Yep.
Sherry Shepherd has been replacing her in the show.
They
Apparently,
finally
she
gave her
had
own
a very anticlimactic closing of the Wendy Williams show.
that
One
Wendy
of
wasn't
which
even a
even
part
her
of.
trifling husband, who has probably brought Wendy to this place of dis-ease, if she is, made a comment and said how disgraceful it was, how they didn't honor her, how just like close the book it was. And apparently all of Wendy's social media, YouTube channel has been taken off. She's just been erased. And I don't know, we don't know what's going on. There was that clip of her describing that, of course, she was dealing with a physical, I think, an autoimmune issue, and showed her foot, which was very swollen, questioning kind of like her mental health. But even if that's the case, right? Even if that's the case, say what you want about Wendy Williams. That woman, however she built her brand, she did that shit. She had people that tuned in. She got people's attention. She served her purpose as an entertainer, whether you respected who she was talking about or not, her points of view or not. She was iconic in many ways when it comes to like being a radio and a host personality. She worked her fucking ass off. And she's just being erased. Poof, gone. Like no flowers are being thrown. And I guess it's like, oh, because she made her money talking shit on people, we don't care about her anymore. And I just think that's a bunch of bullshit. And TMZ, the Shade Room, all these spaces need to like give her flowers for paving the way for their raggedy ass and their content and their intrusive nature and how they have everybody's attention. So stop fucking playing with Wendy.
Who? Jesus Christ. We have a different relationship with Wendy Williams too. I think because we grew up with her. Like people don't realize that Wendy was in Philly. Like
she was in New York. Well, I guess she was in Philly for
Wendy was in Philly first.
Yeah, then
Wendy
she
was
went
in
back
Tower
to New York.
99 and then she went to New York. We grew up with Wendy. Charlemagne was in Philly first with her. So to be very clear, like these are voices that we've been hearing since forever. I will say when Wendy left Philly and went to New York was when I stopped following Wendy. I couldn't stand the Wendy Williams show. But I do think that it's foul to have someone else close the Wendy Williams show and she's not even a part of it. It's just very strange. And it's all very mysterious, like you said. I do see a lot of people saying, is it karma? Is it like, is this what happens when, you build your empire off of gossip and off of things that are kind of lower chakra, or lower vibrationally, not lower chakra. But it's just, Wendy has struggled a lot too. And Wendy's a hurt person and hurt people. But yes, Wendy has worked hard. And I said that to someone and they said, well, the devil works hard too.
Oh, be quiet.
And I was like, wow.
Well, then America's going to hell. Like, America is doomed. If that's your science, then apply it to every fucking thing, all right? Like,
oh, well, now we know who Shanti going to bat for. I would have never guessed it was Wendy Williams. She draws the line at Wendy. You can talk about all these other people, but Wendy, that's enough.
I'm surprised
she don't know nothing.
She
don't know nothing about this lady.
I don't like the way that this happening. I don't like people's logic that they're using against Wendy. Like, keep that same energy for everything, okay?
I heard you, sis. Say the fuck what? That's hilarious. This is comedy to me. I'm like, of all the people to protect, she said, Wendy. That's it.
What is that about?
You saw that foot and you was like, oh man, Wendy,
I didn't
you
even see that clip. I do.
You never saw her foot?
I mean, I saw a little bit, but I didn't watch it. I saw enough to know what needed to be seen. I think that she is dealing, like when the banks are like, you can't fuck with your money. When
it's the same thing like as Britney Spears
are doing that kind of stuff, then I trust that something may be going on with her mental health. But like, give the woman some grace of how this closing narrative is being told. Like, where is her PR team? Like, what's happening? I don't understand. I don't like it. I also learned. Oh, go ahead.
Since we're on this and shows ending, I am so disheartened that say their names. What's the names? Because you don't know how to say them, and it's so funny.
Desus and Mero. What's his name?
Desus and Mero.
Oh, Jesus.
Desus and Mero somehow had some sort of falling out that no one's very clear about. And they're done. The brand is no longer brolic. The Bodega Hive is gone. And I love them since Vice. I'm very sad. I'm very, very saddened by this. And I also, just really fast, I believe and I hope that Desus will be okay, because from the
Which one's
outside
that? The
looking
light
in,
skin, the Dominican
no,
bull?
Desus is the Jamaican bull, the browner one. I might have a little crush on him, but he also, I think you could see when they were filming that he was the one driving kind of the episodes. He was the one with the, like, just a little more professional. He was the one with the segues. Like, he was in the driver's seat. And I didn't get that from Mero, and Mero played his role or whatever. But I really want Desus to be okay. I don't know why I'm
You don't
protective
want Mero
over
to
him.
be okay?
I want Mero to be Mero. Yeah, I don't want him not to be okay, but I want Desus to be okay in a way where, like, he blows up and continues on his path, and is, because he's, I follow him on social media, or I did. He's out in LA at these. Is that Blue carrying on
Yeah,
and cutting up?
she really is. I don't know what's going on.
Tell her to stop, Shanti.
She's about to make my fan fall. Blue!
Sorry, y'all.
Stop it. Get out.
She got down too. You saw her? Obedience. But I just want Jesus. Like, I see him at these dinners in LA where he's networking, where he's trying, and apparently, trying to. Let me finish statements. Where he's trying to, I guess, carve out another path for himself as well. But apparently, Mero did not like something that Desus said on a tour or on something, and he was like, "I'm done."
Oh,
so I don't know what that was.
This must have been years in the making. That don't just happen
and Desus
like
said I remember yesterday he wrote, like, "I tried, y'all." Like, he wrote that on Twitter, and everybody was like, "Please, no."
You know what?
Showtime announced.
I have watched segments and I appreciate what they do. They made me laugh, but I'm definitely not like a fan, or like I don't follow their shit. Mm-hmm. Everything I see of them, I'm like, I really like what they're doing. But I follow their Instagram, and they don't seem like they're friends. For months,
they were, though.
But if you go on their Instagram, they no longer post. There's no posts with them together. Like, they don't seem like they're friends. They don't seem like they have an active relationship. When they're like celebrating and doing stuff, they're not together. So I am not surprised from what my stalking that I have done, that it makes sense to me that, it's sad, because those niggas was again, good chemistry, good on paper, or on the surface statement. But I feel like that don't just happen. That was years in the making. That's sad.
It is sad.
Prayers to both of them, because I know that they're heartbroken. I know that they're hurt. I know they probably care about each other in a lot of ways. But, like, damn, that is fuck.
Yeah. So R.I.P.
R.I.P. also to the comedian Jack Knight, who died at 28. I hadn't followed his work. I'd seen a couple of clips that he'd done, but for some reason, hearing about his passing really made me really sad, and seeing his funny like, the nigga was so funny, and just like multi-hyphenate. Like, he wrote for Lucas Brothers Moving Company and Moral Compass, Pause with Sam J. He wrote for Big Mouth. He was a co-producer and also voiced one of the characters on Big Mouth. Like, he was definitely on the come up. Just a brilliant, quirky, black, funny boy. And I'm man. And they don't know if it was like suicide or if it was like a health issue. But there is this thing about, like, it's many things, like wanting to have seen him reach his potential in a particular way, and like somebody being on that, like, oh, he's about to do the thing, but also we have no idea what the consequence. Like, if he took his life, God, I hope he didn't, but I guess we always glamorize like the peak or this person reaching their potential, but the consequence or what the person's going through, we just have no fucking idea. So prayers to him and his family. You guys should go online and check out his stand-up because he is funny. Damn, I'm mad. We don't have his humor anymore. Funny. Mm-mm.
That's sad. And too young.
Too young. Apparently, what's the other boy's name? That just did the HBO special.
Oh, the guy who came out on his special?
Yeah, Gerard.
Yeah.
Apparently, he's creating another special for himself, like a continuation of the special that he started, and where he's again processing. He hasn't been in contact with his family, so it's like
Since the special?
yeah, I think he's continuing to kind of like process this and work this out. And I was thinking that he's not. I tried to go to his other stand up. He's not particularly funny to me, but I don't
The
think
Carmichael show is funny though.
I don't think there is anyone that could show this process and this really vulnerable thing better than he is. And also just prayers for him as he's moving through probably a really lonely, confusing pain that he's in so many ways. But I'm also like looking forward to him sharing it with folks. So shout out to him as well.
I want to get off of pop culture soon, but did you watch this Kevin Gates interview at all?
I didn't watch it in all of it, but I
only watched the clips.
No, I watched. It's like an hour. I didn't have an hour in me to watch those two, but I watched probably like a good 25, 30 minutes.
So then you watched the parts that I wanted you to watch. Good. I said this on See the Thing Is as well. I'm disheartened by the clips that I do see. Because it's not really, the first like 20 minutes, I feel that he actually had something to say in the best way that he could. Obviously, he sounded like somebody who went to jail a couple of times, read a lot of books, was talking to a lot of Muslim folks in there, doing a stuck thizzle. Got you. But I was in alignment with some of the things that he was saying. I was really proud of him when he was talking about, moving from fear, moving from a place of anger, moving with his ego, like all those things. So much so that I actually recorded some of the episode in the beginning where I think he was talking about sex. And he was like, how are you going to just be having sex with all these people? And then, what did he say? And sex is a spiritual exchange.
Sacred, yeah.
Sacred. Like, you can't just be doing that. Like, that whole thing. And I recorded it and posted it and said, wow, I know that everybody's going to post a clip about him having sex with his cousin, his third cousin. And he didn't know. And then they found out and they were like, well, we are already dealing with each other. We like each other. We're not stopping. Okay, everybody's going to post that. That's the clickbait. But he's saying some real shit. And he's like, I'm proud of him and he's evolved. And then that shit kept going. I said, ooh, I got to delete. Baby, it was so interesting to see someone say those things, and then it seemed like he just contradicted himself. Like the old him resurfaced. I was talking to my friend Black about it, and he said it's really hard to, what did he say? Lord, hold on. He said it's really hard to lose. Here it is. Because I wrote that shit down. It's really hard to get rid of your instincts and your instinctual way of being. So if you grow up in a space, right, and there's a woman that's giving you energy, you're feeling her, you start to go back if you don't have that self-control. Obviously he's trying to evolve, and he's an interesting character because then he also will speak about him moving from a place of pain because he was sexually abused as a young boy, and not many male rappers are coming out and talking about that. He has a whole track where he's crying on the track, and it's doing well and all these things. But when he talks about women and sex, I'm a Libra. I don't like crass things. And he's like, when I get rock hard, I just want to bust it in you. And it was just so
I thought
jarring.
He doesn't
to
ejaculate.
Me. Right. So I was confused. I thought you were. I literally said that. I literally said that when I was watching it, Shanti. And I love watching things like that just as a character study almost. because I I don't have the words for it. I almost want you to just give it like 20 more minutes or 15 more minutes because you would be just as flabbergasted and confused as I. People listening, what did y'all think about this? Because I saw Twitter going crazy. But if you go back again and listen to the first 15, 20 minutes, he's not crazy. He really isn't.
I mean, he gave me similar like Mike Tyson energy in a way where, again, you have this range that I trust, that there's something about him that I trust, even if it feels like it's chaotic. I feel like
it's honest.
It's honest, and I feel like he has experienced the highs of the highs and the lows of the lows, and he just has a range that he bops that I trust. I don't know. I wasn't really interested in his the sex stuff. That wasn't so interesting to me, and that's when I kind of was like, all right, hold on, like, you're gonna put your tongue in their butt and all that shit. And that wasn't
mouth,
interesting.
I was like,
but
wait, what?
Again, I think that he has been exposed to a lot of different things, and it shows. And he feels like he feels combustible. He feels combustible. Feels like he could go, I trust him. I trust how he's feeling, but I would also trust, I wouldn't trust him to, again, revert back to some shit. Yeah.
It's like, I trust you, but I have a watchful eye over you. I want to protect you too. Like, I don't
want to protect him. I'm just, I wouldn't be surprised of what you're capable of. Like, you got a range to you. You've done so much. You've seen so much. You felt so much. He felt like a very deeply thinking person, which I really appreciated. Vulnerable. He's talking that toxic masculinity shit. I love that he was finding language to the complex feelings that he has. He was interesting. She was interesting. Watching her response to him tickled me. She didn't know what to do. I feel like she was so intrigued by it. I feel like he was tapping in and seeing her shit in ways that she was like, what?
Yeah, because when she kept saying, I feel like men, he was like, why do you keep saying men? Who hurt you? And I was like, oh, Kevin, you got it. But Caresha is learning. She doesn't know how to have a follow-up question yet. She had what was written on those cards, what was prepared for her, and she was going to read it. It was like, oh, Caresha. But, yeah, what an interesting human.
No, I enjoyed that. I enjoyed it.
You enjoyed it. Moving right along to to politics as usual. Ciao. What's going on? You got something on here, Shani.
Case with Brittany Griner continues. Apparently she has pled guilty to the case, which has been seen by many as being very risky because, of course, she is at the mercy of the Russian government. But the hope is that in her pleading guilty, it will help speed up the case and hopefully lead to a swap between Moscow and Washington, D.C. She also has come up with a note that she had cannabis oil from Arizona, which is like maybe helping to prove the case of innocence in a way that she didn't do it intentionally, but also like, I know you saying she probably signed mad papers. Like, there's probably lots of legal documents that explain like what you can and can't do. But I suppose that supports that it was for medical purposes that she had it.
Yeah, she had it medical.
But again, I hope this process speeds up and that she can come back home.
Yeah.
As soon as possible. So shout out to Brittany. Another, again, and I think that we were empathetic and aware of the just the dynamics of what was possibly going on during the Uvalde shooting. But last week we touched on and were flabbergasted that the police were on the phone. They were using, what is it? The sanitation, just the incompetence that was filmed and perceived by many by the police. But it came in Uvalde during the shooting, but people were most upset about the police on the phone, and it came out that that police was actually identified as the deceased teacher of Eva Morales.
The husband.
The husband, forgive me. The husband of the deceased teacher, Eva Morales. So,
he was
again,
checking for updates and trying to
we never know. We just never know. As they're trying to uncover that mess, child. Did they get rid of? Is the building been demolished yet, or like that was?
No, it hasn't been demolished yet. I don't believe. I know that longer footage has come out, which I'm not gonna watch, but I did see CNN reporting on it, and it just gets worse. I do think we held some space for grace because we were like, this doesn't make sense. But yeah, that situation it's not going to get any better, I don't think. And I hope that the folks like Sean King, who I have a relationship with, who was tearing that officer up and posting his picture everywhere, I hope that they do retract it. He probably did because he's good at that. But I hope that more outlets, because I can't imagine being him, knowing that he was there, right? That he didn't go in. His wife is now deceased. He's mourning her, and then he sees his picture up and he's being called a coward. Cannot imagine that, living with that. So I think we talk about empathy and compassion a lot on this podcast, and it's important to self-correct when you may have unintentionally said some shit that, was inaccurate. Also, Senators Mark Rubio and Kevin Cramer. Mark Rubio of Florida, Kevin Cramer of North Carolina introduced a bill Wednesday that would allow mothers to collect child support at the beginning of conception. This is to ensure that child support for the unborn child is collected and distributed under the Child Support Enforcement Program. Under the bill, mothers would be able to request child support the month of conception and onward, but would not be required to do so. Mothers would also be able to choose whether to collect child support payments retroactively through the month of conception, including if the paternity is only established after the birth of the child. So, sounds good, right? A lot of people are thinking that they are doing this because the Republicans need to figure out a way to get these new abortion laws to look like it's helping the woman. So a lot of people are not for this. Again, it's two senators trying to get this done. I actually feel like if you're gonna take rights away and shit, and you're gonna call the fetus a child and say that it's a human, that they're in their right, then hey, here we are. Now it's. I'm not against this notion, but I also do think that this is a political move, and they need this. They need to make it seem like they are in favor of helping women. So more to come on that. I also want to definitely point out that we have not talked about that 10-year-old who was raped, and she was not believed. And she had to travel out of state to get her abortion. And now the doctor who did the abortion, there might be some legal cause for legal action. The whole thing is just getting so ridiculous. I watched a mother today on CNN in Texas who suffered a miscarriage. And doctors were too afraid to remove the fetus because it's the same procedure as an abortion. And so she walked around for over 2 weeks with a dead fetus in her as she grieved the loss of her potential child. And the health risks of this include organ failure, infection, and possibly death. And now, this is a mother who already has a child and who is actively trying to have another one. She is no longer trying to have a child because she is afraid that if she does get pregnant and she does miscarry, that she will have to go through this again. And she's too worried that this might affect her health and that she might die. And so she said, I don't want the child that I have to be motherless.
This is insanity.
It's insanity. So this law is actually, that was supposed to encourage women, right, to have children and to bring these children into the world, and pro-life, got you, are now having women not even try because they're like, well, I don't even have That's why when people say it's like an abortion thing, no, it's women's health care. Like it's a reproductive right issue. And it's just outlandish. And she had to go to, I think, 5 different doctors to find one that would take the risk. And the other thing about the legality around it is, in this case, a doctor would win, but in Texas, the law, like, they would win if they went to court, but the law requires the doctor they have to pay for their own legal fees. So it boils down to money. The doctors don't want to take this on because they're like, even if I win, I lose. So it is just a shit show. And there's going to be more and more and more and more and more shit shows. But here we are. Do you want to even talk about the Sesame Place thing?
No, I don't want to give this much. Maybe
Me
I'm
neither.
tripping. Maybe I'm tripping. Maybe I'm a bad Philadelphian, but
no, I don't feel like talking about it. I also don't think I think Sesame Street has done a really great job of being inclusive, and I don't think one person at the
Sesame Street or Sesame Place.
Well, Sesame Street is a part of Sesame Place. It is Sesame Place is under that branch of Sesame Street. And I'm just saying the company in general has been very inclusive. They've done a lot of work in the space, and people are ripping them apart. And I'm just like, over this one asshole at the park, or maybe multiple assholes at the park. But the institution itself, they have done brilliant and great work that I'm grateful for. But I don't want to give this person any more shine either, because it's just like disgusting at this point. Disgusting. But also, we have voicemails. This has quickly become like one of my favorite segments. And so I'm just going to get right into it. So here we are.
Hey, Shanti and Antoinette. I was just calling to give y'all some thanks and compliments. I've been listening for a few months now, and I've been making my way back into some older episodes. Aside from just loving all the topics, I also just want to say that your voices are really soothing. And sometimes I replay the episodes at night just as background noise, and it kind of helps me fall asleep sometimes. Anyways, you're both a joy to listen to, and I really admire your friendship and with each other and with the rest of your friends. And a lot of times I sit there and talk to y'all like you're my friends. But the thing that got me to give y'all a call was the last episode, Living for Everyone White. I honestly cannot remember the last time I laughed so fucking hard listening to a podcast, and I desperately needed those laughs. The last couple weeks, my mental health has been tricky, as Antoinette would say, and the serotonin boost that I got was unreal. There was so much that had me dying, but specifically the journey of Antoinette trying to add some spice to Cole's name, calling that man Cole. I died. I had to rewind that whole part for another good laugh. So I just wanted to say thank you for that. It truly gave me the push that I needed to get through the rest of the week without losing my shit. So keep doing what you're doing, and however y'all release and split the episodes, I will be tuned in. Oh, and my name is Hala. Appreciate you, ladies. Psych.
Who is Cole anyway?
Cole was the guy who did dissect.
Oh, okay. Nigga,
Cole.
you
I don't know why. Like, that was so embarrassing. That was so embarrassing afterwards. I was like, when I was editing, I almost cut that out. I did. Because I listened to that and thought, why would I read? See, I'm getting stupid, and it's from Instagram. Why would I read that like that? No,
But
dead ass. Why?
what did I stop you from saying it?
Yes, you. I didn't hear you on the Zoom because everybody who's listening, we can. And it's not Zoom on Riverside, but we are listening to each other via Riverside. So sometimes if you laugh at something I say, your audio will go out because I'm still talking, and so I don't always catch what you're saying. You tried to help me, and I didn't hear it, and kept going. I kept going. And while I was editing, I kept saying, no, stop.
That is funny.
Cole, why? Oh, I can't.
You said this is a spicy white man. He must be ethnic. This nigga like
I think that was
Kendrick.
He's breaking
That is
down.
a
Okay, the
spicy white man. He
Hippie
is
white. Cole.
that's an ethnic white. That is not Cole. That is Cole.
Oh my God, that whole
stupid.
part is so dumb. Balake. Anyway,
Balake.
I didn't quite hear her name. I think she said Holland or Harlem. Either way, it's
Cute
a
name,
very
by the way.
cute name. Either one of those works for me. But thank you so much for calling. I hope you're feeling better, sis. Damn, I know times
It's hard. Tricky for everybody, girl.
tricky right now.
You giving it back to us.
Yeah. All right, we have another one, but thank you again for calling, and I'm glad that my just stupid nature was something that made you laugh. I can't stand myself. Oh God.
Hey, Antoinette and Shanti. This is Asia. I'm calling. I'm actually listening to the episodes in reverse. So I just got to episode 116, Happy Hood Music, and you said that you were thinking about getting a breast reduction, and if the listener had gotten one, to call in. So that's what I'm doing. Best decision of my life. I actually got my reduction when I was 17. That's how drastic my breasts were. And the insurance company paid for 100% of it. I had to go to a couple of different doctors to get it signed off. So I went to my regular physician, my normal, what is that? Your PC, whatever. Anyway, my regular doctor. I also went to the chiropractor, and he signed off on it because, I'm a pretty small person. So, and my breasts were the breasts of, I don't even know. They were humongous, and my poor little back just couldn't take it. So yeah, and I'm obviously I got this done so long. I'm 33 now, so I got this done a while ago, and but I had no problems. I did have a bad reaction to the anesthesia, but other than that, my healing process was perfectly fine. Or my downtime, I think the downtime is maybe 2 weeks. The worst part about it was the drain bulbs that are literally sticking out of your side, draining fluid after. That's not fun. But I basically have been braless for the last 15 or however many years since I got this reduction, because it was really life-changing. My doctor took 3 pounds of breast, 1.5 pounds out of each breast. That's how, and I'm not, I didn't have any fat in my breast either. It was nothing but breast tissue, so that's even heavier. So it was a lot. I was a GE, I don't even know anymore, but I would definitely recommend it. It really did change my life. I used to cry in the sitting room just because things just were not, my top half didn't match my bottom half. It was just so frustrating, especially as a young woman just trying to, love myself, love my body. It was really hard. So I definitely recommend it. I feel like they probably have even better.
Oh no.
Damn, I swear I wasn't going to be one of those people that got cut off. I had to call. But anyway, that's my spiel. I definitely recommend it. Do your research, find a good doctor. Maybe somebody who specializes in maybe black skin, because you have
Scars.
a scar, so you just definitely want to make sure like you don't keloid and things like that. But yeah, I definitely recommend it, and life-changing. So anyway, this is Asia. I'm probably going to call back again because I listen to you guys all the time, and I love you. Later. Have a good week.
First of all, Asia, you have the cutest little voice.
You're cute.
Doesn't she?
I love her. Good energy too. Cute little poppy energy. Bubbly
yeah,
energy.
She poppy because the breasts not weighing it down no more.
She said, "I am braless.
Light as a feather." Thank you, Asia.
Is sitting.
That's funny. You just brought that up to me. Like, are you still thinking about it? I go back and forth. That's hopeful information. I don't know, everyone. Sometimes
Maybe if anybody who's had a breast reduction and then has had children afterwards and what their experience has been, I think that's something that is a concern. That
if I ever get there, yeah. I'll be honest, a big concern of mine is loss of feeling.
True.
We have a friend who has had a breast reduction, and she has one nipple that's okay and one that's not. And y'all, the way pleasure is set up in my life, like I need all the pleasure I can get. And I know that might sound trivial, but to me, I'm like, if that is stopping me, then that means that maybe it's not for me because it's not outweighing.
That's not trivial. That is a major key in terms of pleasure and I'm also getting used to just wearing
them.
I'd be pissed.
Yeah, I would be upset. I'm getting more used to like owning my breasts and just being like, these are my breasts. They're big. And I don't know, but they do hurt, which is why I'm on my bike, which is why I'm trying to strengthen my core and things to see, like, is there any other way? If not, because I don't have breasts where, like, I've seen breasts where, like, wow, that woman has a hard life. Like, where you see them and you're like, that's a lot of weight on her top. I don't have that. It would just be nice to fit into certain things. My back definitely hurts, but it's feeling better. And this bike that I got right now forces me to engage my core. So we're going to see.
I got you working it out, getting that core strength, baby. Getting them titties to sit up.
I almost named him Hobby. But I didn't. Even though his name is not
I'm searching for that nigga and I cannot find him. You guys send me how to spell his name. I can't find it.
Xavier with an X. Xavier.
Can't find it.
Oh, well, you know what? He also has his own channel of stuff where you have to pay for it. So you know how
I ain't doing that.
I don't like when his videos cut and they're like spliced for like snippets. Why are we talking about this?
That works me out though. I like that. But
I don't think he's handsome though. I want him to be more handsome than what he is, but whatever.
We need to talk about it, but I think I'm going to dabble in, actually, yes, maybe I am going to pay for porn. And I don't watch porn often enough, but I am going to pay because I do think that there is actually like a serious like morality and safety issue that's at stake with the porn that you're watching in terms of,
the free
sex
porn.
work. And and I've been hearing from folks that there's a lit paid woman approved. But I found out what her kind of kink is. So anyway,
can you send it
to be announced?
To be continued. Okay.
To be determined.
You know that I'm not watching porn anymore?
Man, I haven't watched porn in a really long time either. But,
wow. Well, you actually have a man. Anyway.
Are you just imagining things? You working on that creative? That's where all your creative energy.
I haven't been self-pleasuring in a minute. I'm like Kevin Gates. Stealing my energy, my clarity, my clairvoyance. So I'm just holding it all. I'm lying. I did this shit last night, but it was a long time. It was a long time. It was.
Well, I
it
didn't
was a
believe
minute.
you anyway. I was like, okay, let me talk to you some
No, it
other
was a
time.
long time. There was a point where it was like every night, and I was like, "Is this
Oh.
self pleasure? Are you getting a little? Are you
Or
going
are
a
you
little crazy?"
unwell?
And I started to. Yeah, I started to realize like I had to turn my vibrator up higher and higher and higher, and I was like,
Oh, losing sensation.
"Wait." Yeah, I was like,
Clitoris
lower
was
it.
upset. She was
Like,
like,
yeah.
I can't feel my face. Clitoris was-
Wait, we have one more voice to hold up.
Hello, Antoinette and Shanti. This is your girl AJ, all the way from Elkins Park, Pennsylvania, about an hour outside the city. Just calling to say thank you in general for not only the part 1 and the part 2, which I do enjoy because it gives me something else to listen to on a Monday, but I also enjoy the realness of discussing what biracial women go through and what my nieces will be going through and probably are starting to go through already, and I don't know. But one's 19, one's 13, and I interviewed actually one of my nieces on my little podcast. Yes, I'm bringing that up because I still want Antoinette to get on my Birds of a Feather podcast and talk with me about sports because she needs another soul to be around and talk about
Say
sports.
less. Let's do
And
it.
Eagle training camp is coming. Anyway, but I wanted to say thank you in general. I love all your podcasts. I could list all the episodes, but I know this thing cuts people off. So I just want to tell y'all I love y'all and I appreciate all your footage. And hopefully one day I'll meet y'all both and get to give you a quick air hug because I don't know if y'all hugging folk. And yes, enjoy your week. Thank you so much. Keep positive. Love around the way curls. And just like Lizzo, if nobody told you today, you're special. Bye.
You better be positive.
They are
Better
too
get that positive
cute.
too.
Yo, AJ, I'm down. Even though I haven't been paying much attention to the Eagles lately. I've been watching this Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving fiasco and paying attention to what James Harden and them are doing. I'm very happy that James said what he said and that he gave up his money so we could get a team. But I'm still not impressed with our bench. I still don't know if this is a winning roster. I'm just nervous that we're wasting the best years of Joel Embiid. To be continued. Shanti, stop. I made that quick.
What?
I made that quick, child. Anyway, we want to thank y'all for calling. Y'all are the best. Please, 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 always, if you are interested, if you have a topic, if you want to hold us accountable, if you like, yo, I'm just trying to call in and shoot the shit real quick, give us a call at 215-948-2780. That's 215-948-2780. And if you enjoy this podcast, just know that there are visuals. So you can and you should join our Patreon. On Patreon, you will get bonus footage of us before and after the podcast, most times, and in between the break where we're cutting up and having some shenanigans. But you'll also get the episode. And you can join Patreon for as low as $5, child. I know the
$5
inflation is
holla.
happening, but
Yes.
we are not raising our prices yet. No, we're not raising
Shout
them.
out to all the new patrons. Brianna, Harrington, Portia,
Look at you.
Kyrie,
That ain't how you say that.
Taylor, Talisha, Kiera, Kieri. God damn it. There's some good
I'm
black
so
names.
happy you said that. And Naira
Good
Wahi
black.
said, give your kids hard names to pronounce
Well,
and shut
they ain't
up.
hard. I just a lot of
Childish.
Joe.
I'm
Listen.
playing. I'm playing
Let me
with
just say
a
one thing. We
knife
had
and
an
I cut
order
myself.
at Sable, and the person he put big man. The names that come up on people's orders for fulfillment, big man. I
he
said
said
that
big
is. I love it. I love it here. It's a black strong name, big man, man, Joe.
Wow,
Love
big
it.
man. I wonder what he looked like.
No wonder, but shout
Don't
out to all
slide in
those
my
patrons.
DMs, King.
Thank you. I don't know. I don't know.
His real name probably Mustafa. On
He
the low.
probably bought some anklets and shit, so he probably got a girl.
Oh, you got a
so.
lady. Say less. Shout out to big man.
You never know. Like,
Or he's wearing
I
them.
love. Or the what?
He's wearing them.
That would be my actual favorite imagination of who Big Man is. It'd be that.
Anyway, y'all, so we're at that time. We are going to continue to do this part 1, part 2. Shanti, we do have some people that are requesting that we possibly record on Thursdays, and that way part 1 comes out on Monday, part 2 comes out on Thursday, so they don't have to wait the weekend. And we'll talk about it, everyone. But I am loving the flexibility and the agile approach to the release of this podcast. And just know that we're going to keep being consistent. We're going to keep holding you down. Please enjoy yourselves. Have a fine weekend, because this podcast will come out on Thursday. And then we'll be back with our main topic for Monday, which is... Oh my God!
Labeling your
that.
friends. I have a goddamn
I teed that
for
up
it yet. Now you gotta give me a minute.
Yeah.
Are you enabling your friends? Are you in a codependent friendship?
Child, you talking to me on this? I'm stressed. All right, we're gonna head out, and with that,
we are out.
I can't stand. I'm not teeing this up for you anymore. Bye. Stop the audio. Bitch,
Stop,
it's
right?
like 12 o'clock. Yeah. I was playing with a knife.
Was this 2 hours? No. Okay.
Hour and a half. Actually, I'm going to stop this too and start a new episode, a new video.